All right. Welcome back to the Flipping Junkie podcast. Super excited today. I've got two friends that I met in was it like a gazebo? Like these
It was very romantic. Yes.
The bugs were attacking us and didn't.
Oh, yeah.
But that was interesting. So it's Jerryll Noorden and Jessica Roman. Super
Yes.
pumped to have you guys on.
Hey,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, we met and it was interesting because we were at an event and I needed to just get away from everybody. Like there's just too many people and I wanted to have some alone time. So I was like, well, I'm going to go out down this boardwalk that goes into the middle of like this jungle on the bay or whatever it was. And I'm going out to the gazebo thinking nobody's going to be out there. And I go out there and there's two people out there on that gazebo and it's these two. And I was like, great. And I'm trying to be alone. And here's some people here talking business, talking real estate. And I'm trying to get away from all the real estate talk. But but it ended up being great because I didn't even intend to talk to them at all. But we ended up just like he looked familiar. Like Jerryll looked familiar and I forgot what it was.
It's funny.
And he said that I looked kind of familiar. And then we pieced it together or whatever. But had some great conversation at that event. But you guys have an interesting story about getting into the business and the things that you've done. You've started a business helping other real estate investors to rank websites and things like that. But let's start with your story of getting into this business. What got you even interested in real estate?
So I met Jess when I was already doing investing. So the way I started was I was an international student from overseas, obviously. And I came to the United States to study. And the way it just happened was every time I had to rent a house, it was cheaper for me to rent the biggest house with as many rooms as possible because I would rent those rooms out to other students. So my rent was always free. Actually, I got paid to live there. And I'm not sure how legal that was. Probably it's not legal at all, but my stay was always paid for. And when I finally got a job, no more student life, I wanted to buy a house. And again, the bigger the house was, the cheaper it was for me. So I tried to buy the biggest house I could buy with as many rooms as possible. And without even knowing what it meant, I was doing, I guess, some sort of house hacking where I rent out all my rooms and while my roommates paid the house for me, I was living there for free. I had my dream house, at least at that time. And the bills were paid. I got the house for free and a little bit of stipend of the money left over from their end. And that is how the whole thing started. So I was a engineer scientist at the time, where I was working. They lost funding. So I had to jump to Italy, and living in Italy was pretty much was awesome. And I was traveling everywhere in Europe. And I realized quite soon that I do not want to come back to the office to resume the work. I just want to keep on traveling. So I figured it's time to just do my own thing. I looked into a lot of things, actually. As a scientist and engineer, the first thing you do is try to think of a product that you can develop and market and sell it, right? So everything I came up with was already done. Every single thing. And I spent a long time thinking about things. And I don't really quite remember how, but I just fell back on, well, how about real estate? Because I've always been lucky with real estate with my previous ventures when renting out the rooms. So I decided to go back to the United States. I had a job offer in Connecticut, from all places, where it was the first time ever that it was corporate. I've always done research. So now it was corporate. It was horrible. The most horrible thing I could ever experience. You have a dress code. You send the wrong email out to the wrong person. You get yelled at. It was miserable, absolutely miserable. I was always used to playful, do whatever you want, as long as your project is done by the end of the term, and it is to satisfaction. You can do whatever you want. You get all the funding you need. There's always research, right? Corporate is very different. So I was staring at a block of metal, wires going in, wires going out, and that is the entire scope of my existence. That block of metal, that's it. And it was the most horrible experience in my life. So I lasted about 6 months. I just quit. And after I quit, did I start to look into wholesaling. So usually people start wholesaling before they quit their job, right? The exact opposite. So I quit first, and then the wholesaling was scary as hell. So on the other hand, it was do or die, right? So I had no choice. I had to succeed. So that's how I started investing. I did it for several years before I met some gorgeous, sexy babe on Plenty of Fish.
That'd be me.
And I guess that is where she can take over from me. So that's where I met Jess.
Yeah. Mine's not as interesting as his. I did construction myself for about 8 years. So I was a jack of all trades. I did a little bit of everything, electrical, painting, drywall, plumbing, you name it, I did it. And I absolutely loved it. I loved working with my hands. I loved making something from nothing. I loved the before and afters. So I think that's really what caught my attention. And I loved designing. So I knew that the thought of flipping was always in my head. Maybe about like 3 years before I actually met him. So I knew that was something that I eventually wanted to do. And when I had moved down to Connecticut, I was out in Massachusetts for the longest time doing construction. And I moved down to Connecticut 2.5 years ago now. And I want to say within the first 2 weeks of moving down here, we met, like he said, on Plenty of Fish. And it just kind of escalated from not a romantic relationship to a very romantic relationship. And that's where I started.
Yeah.
And we were inseparable ever since.
Yeah. We had the flip going. The flip is still ongoing.
That was a mistake. That
Yeah,
was a boo-boo.
that was hard. It still is horrible.
Yeah.
And so that's still ongoing. But I invited her to help me with the finishes because
his designs were horrible. Let's just put that out there.
I just wanted to
I get it.
I just wanted this.
I'm still doing horrible design.
So I invited her along to play along, and it just worked. It just clicked.
Yeah.
Cool. But you're not doing the work, right? Like you guys have contractor crews doing all of the work. You're supervising.
Yeah. Now we do, but I do miss doing it very much. I love working with my hands. And it's something that we're going to start getting back into for our film.
Yeah. Some of the work we do, for example, have you ever seen this bathroom and on the wall where the shower head is mounted on? There's like a square, like a niche, not like a niche, but a design, a tile design, some very custom tiles, some very custom designs. Like those things we do ourselves. So we let them finish the rest, but those little pieces that we like to do and make these things very nice looking. For example, the kitchen in Torrington, which your dad helped do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
we did the island together.
Yeah, that island looked like an island you see in a mansion. So
Nice.
Yeah. So these kind of things we want to do together, but we did installation 2 days ago. Like no.
Never again.
No.
It's so itchy. That's itchy. It's still itchy stuff, right?
I don't care how much protection you have, you will itch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's cool. And I like here that you guys do that special touch stuff yourself, because, too many times I've seen, houses, it's like so clearly, a flipper copying like the same design over and over in all these houses. And then all the houses look the same. And so I just imagine like when somebody's looking to buy a house, they walk in and see all those houses that are all gray and white.
Yeah.
And then they walk in and see one that has something that stands out that's blue, or just something that's like, oh, they don't know what it is, but something is different about this one.
Yeah. And so what we do always is we always make sure that when somebody checks the house out, that they can clearly see that we went out of our way to do something. Like we didn't have to do that. So for example, it could be as small as like put tiki torches on every pole of the deck. Like the torches not being there, nobody would miss them. Nobody would expect them. But just them being there, they'll know these guys really went out of the way to do it. So what else did they go out of the way to do something with the house? And when they see, so we have our signature touch is like a faucet at the stove. Sometimes it's, have you ever seen these restaurant
Like
faucets.
folds out, extends out for the pot to fill the pot.
Yeah, exactly.
Pot filler, yeah.
Exactly. So that is one of our signature moves in our flips. We always try to do one of those things, and then we always go out of our way to try to go the extra mile so that the house doesn't look like a flip. It looks like something very custom.
Yeah, we put love into it.
Yeah. Oftentimes the house is more expensive to make, but on the other hand, our houses literally stay on the market for like 3 hours, and we get over asking price pretty much always. So it's worth it.
Yeah, and I love how you said it, because it's not just the, like, you know, how you said nobody would miss it if we didn't put it in. But since it's in, it does create this idea of, you know, that somebody really lovingly, like you said, did this, right? Like it wasn't. And the perfect example of the opposite of that is there's like 2 blocks from where I live, there's a house that was fixed up to sell. And every time I walk by it, I said, man, this thing's been on the market for a while, and I know exactly why. I've never been in it, but whenever I walk by and I see that they only put like 1 pallet of grass and the rest is like dirt and old, like messed up yard. And then like they too cheap to even pour concrete for the sidewalk stuff. So they just put a bunch of like gravel type. And this is like a $750,000 house, you know, and I'm like, what did they do inside? You know, because I imagine it's just crap because the outside is crap.
Yeah.
And I've done it too before in the past. So I'm not like, you know, I'm guilty of doing the same thing, but, and when you're doing quite a few properties, it can be kind of tempting to cut some corners, or you're just like trying to move from job to job.
Yeah.
But if you can take some extra time like you guys are doing, I think that's huge. And then you get more money for the house.
Yeah.
Always over asking price for sure.
Yeah. So I always consider us being bad flippers because that's not what flippers do.
Yeah.
But it works for us. Like we get multiple offers above asking price, and that's all we do it for. And otherwise, also it wouldn't be fun if it is just always the subway tile, always the.
I'm a fan of subway tile.
I am too. I'm putting that in right now.
Yeah, I have a thing. Me and subway tile have a thing with each other, and he hates it.
But
actually,
yeah,
let me see. I just got a picture today actually from. I know only people watching YouTube can see this, but I'm going to show them on here. So the contractor, he did. Can you see that?
Wow.
Oh, I
So
love.
he did the subway tile on the walls, and then the wall where the shower head and the faucet will be, which will be black, matte black. He did the decorative tile on that wall and the floor.
We're actually starting to do that as well.
That's funny.
That's in 2 of our flips right now that we're doing.
Yeah.
And I love the black and white. Like I love black and white bathrooms, like old style. But anyway, that's pretty cool. That's the only part that they got some cool tile now. Like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Everything was like trying to be faux stone, right?
Yeah, we spent almost an hour inside a tile shop on Saturday. I just absolutely love tile, and I love more of the unique stuff that he won't even look at. He's like, no, I don't think so. So I think I have to like.
It's scary until you see it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do you guys have Floor and Decor?
Say that again.
Do you have a store called Floor and Decor?
No, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, they've got some really cool stuff.
No.
They're in several states, but yeah, that's what we have here, and I'm really grateful for it. Because it's cheap too.
Ooh.
Like really cheap. But anyway,
into that.
That's an important piece.
We need to look up more of these kind of businesses and check them out.
I know.
Because it used to be like whenever we did an old historic house, and the subway tile then, I think I couldn't find it for less than like $20 a foot for subway tile.
Subway tile?
Yeah, for subway tile, because nobody was making it then, I don't think. So it was like this fancy architectural store that had it, but you couldn't find it at most places, I don't think. And maybe it may have been also that it was flat. It was somewhat flat, like the original kind is.
Yeah.
Because the new one's it's got the little bit of bubble on it. But anyway, we're getting into details. It's not really probably important to a lot of people listening. So, but the gist of like fixing. So what do you, so it's pretty amazing that you still run the flipping business. Tell me what is the split of duties? I mean, how do you operate this business together?
Okay, yeah, so it's a good question. So we have a lot on our plate, like a lot. We're on two businesses. So the business we're talking about right now is the flipping business. I do the lead generation, obviously, and Jess is the one that handles the rest, pretty much. And I was too busy with the other company to really dive in a lot in the flipping business, but that is changing now since we have hired a lot of people, and our YouTube channel right now is one of our biggest priorities. So we both, Jess and I, are jumping hands-on into the flipping business again. The way it is structured is I'm dealing with the websites, the lead generation, the marketing, and all that stuff. And then Jess's team is handling the walkthroughs, getting the contract signed, and closing. And then we jump in together on the design and the flipping aspect of it. So Jess still takes the lead on the design and the ideas. I usually have the final say what goes. That's at least what I believe, that she always convinces me somehow to have it her way.
Yeah, I do end up convincing him a little bit, but our flips are starting to be a very much Jess and Jerryll. So it has a little bit of both of us in it, which I absolutely love.
And especially now for the channel, we are really going to start doing a lot of creative stuff. Like our flips obviously are meant for profits, obviously. Otherwise we can stay in business. But we do want to incorporate really clever, beautiful designs so that we can get the house sold quite quickly.
Just don't do murals. Whatever you do, don't do murals.
No,
we got you on that.
Do not give her ideas, dude.
No, I'm not with the murals. I got you on this.
It's a beautiful scene sometimes, but yeah, not in the living room. No.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, so that's how we do it. And we are trying, since we're doing quite a few flips at the same time right now, the second I am confident and comfortable knowing that we have back-to-back flips at all times, every time, we are thinking about hiring our own contractors, and we have our own team. So instead of paying these people per job, we just pay them a monthly salary so that they can do like 5 kitchens in 1 month instead of paying $17,000 times 5 per kitchen, right? So that is where we're heading right now. And once we have a whole team and a whole crew that know what they want, we can always stop in, tell them not to do something. We can jump in and do our own thing. And so that is where we're heading right now.
Interesting. Do you know anybody else that does it like that?
No.
You don't have to name names. I'm just wondering if you.
No, but I'm a very antisocial person, so I don't know any people anyways. So
Okay.
No.
That's why you guys were hiding out on the gazebo or whatever. That's
Dude, yeah.
Just like you, we had to get away too.
Yeah, seriously.
We're definitely
we're all hiding out, all of us. We're
Yeah.
still be introverts big time.
Oh yeah.
Which is interesting about the YouTube channel, and I want to get to that, and we will get to that, and everybody listening, you're going to find out about that because you've heard little hints of it, but we're going to keep, you have to listen to the rest of what we want to talk about before we get to that to hear about it. But how many flips are you guys doing basically per year at this point?
So we started scaling rapidly quite recently. So up until last year, I think, maybe, we were really doing like 1 or 2 flips at back to back. Like the second we get a flip, we do another one and do another one.
Yeah, we would finish the first flip before we jumped into the next one.
So since the other business took off very rapidly, we hate private money lending. Everybody always boasts about flipping without any of your own money. I am saying like, heck no, flip with only my own money. Like I have no deadlines, I have no timelines. I don't have to respond to anybody. This is my money, it's my decision, my everything. And I don't have to pay any fees on it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I much rather do it with my own money. And since now it's last year. 1 year ago, we started doing the other company very seriously. When we became quite successful with it, we have plenty of money to do 6 flips at the same time right now with our own money. So since then, have we started scaling? So we are slowly scaling up, but the reason why we are holding on a little bit is because I want systems in place. Instead of just winging things and just do 6 flips at a time, I really want a a proven system that we can completely dial in so that we can actually scale to as many flips as we want to. So right now we're testing about 6 flips at a time. So right now we're doing 6 at a time, and we want to kind of scale to around 10. And I think that's where our magic number is going to be. I think once we do more than 10, we really need to have several project managers, several crews, several everything, and that is a whole new project to master. So with this one project manager that we have, with that one set of contacts we have, I think 6 to 10 flips is reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So once we have dialed in how we're going to scale beyond 10 flips, that is where we're going to really starting to dive into mass flipping. I've heard people doing like 50 flips at the time. That is like, whoa, that's crazy.
So my big question is why? Like, why do you want to do so many?
So we have our own goals. So I have a friend, well, it's more than a friend right now, that is paralyzed, paraplegic. And my goal is to start a robotics line, exoskeletons line that can help paraplegic people walk again, and without any help. So that is what I am trying to accomplish. She has her own.
Yeah. So my goal is, because of my past and the things that I have gone through, I would like to help people find homes. So we would like to, with the funds that we make in profit, donate a house to someone who's in like in a shelter or homeless.
So she was homeless when she was growing up.
At certain times, and I was raised in foster care, so that means a lot to me. To be able to donate a house to someone and give them a home. So
we're thinking about every 6 houses that we flip, we donate one.
Yeah.
And we want to do it in such a way that it becomes self-sustained. So if we do about 10 flips at a time, right? So with the profits of one of the 10 flips, we put aside. So every time we do 10 flips, we take the profits of one flip, put aside until we can flip a house and donate it. So it doesn't really bite into our own profits, and it can be self-sustained without depending on whether we are successful or not with our current flips. So that's a complete different set of flips that is only going to be devoted to giving somebody their own home. Somebody that needs it.
Nice. That's awesome. Like I asked why, and you guys, got to really good answers instead of, I don't know, just want to make a lot of money.
I make a lot of money every time.
I mean, everybody wants to make a lot of money too, but we can also help people while we're doing it. That was hard for me to say before, that I want to make a lot of money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was hard. And then it's like, yeah, you want to make a lot of money. That's okay, because you also want to help people. So
absolutely,
that's how you help people.
We're making good money.
So that's an interesting thing. So, have you considered, and I'm not saying what your plan is right or wrong. I'm just curious, like, have you thought about like any transitioning into any long-term investments?
Yeah.
You don't have to keep the machine going.
Yeah. And that is something that we are both of us trying to get into. And I believe I still don't grasp that concept because, and I'm saying this very carefully because I probably know that I'm the one that's wrong. So I'd say this up front. But every time I look at the numbers, okay, so how much profit in pocket would you make per door? $100, $200, $300 per door, right? I go to Bigger Pockets and I see these kind of numbers. And I'm thinking, I need to buy an entire house or a unit just to profit $100, $200, $300 a month. There is no way. And that's information I'm getting. Even if it were $1,000, that is still quite iffy for me. So I'm not sure if I should say this, but our profit margin of what it looks like right now is we do around $300,000 a month in profits, right? How many houses would I need to buy and hold to make $300,000 in profits passively? Way too many. It's like the liability alone doesn't make sense to me. So the way we make so much money is because we have whatever business that you have, automate it. Hire people to do the job. The last person that you hired should be a CEO, right? So you step out. So take house flipping, for example. People will say it's not passive income. I say you're wrong. It's completely passive income when you hire everybody out so that the business can run on automatic, so you don't have to be involved in it. That way, it becomes passive income. Per flip, we do between the minimum amount of profit that we demand for a flip is $40,000. Okay, so if we take that number, every flip you make 40,000. So now our mission is how to increase that number while decreasing the time it takes to flip a house, and to systematize it so it is a no-brainer. So it is just an automatic. My contractor knows exactly what we want, right? So now per flip, we can do 40 grand in profits. If you do 6 flips at the same time, how much is that? 24,000, $240,000, a $250,000 if you flip 6 houses at a time. If each flip can take 6 weeks, then every 6 weeks, you would make a $250,000. Completely automated. Yes, it's easier said than done, obviously, but it's not unrealistic either. As long as you have the people in place, your contractors in place and whatnot, that would be a $250,000 in passive income every 1.5 months. How many buy and holds would I have to get to do that? It's to me, it's just the numbers don't add up to me.
Yeah, and it's what you said. I mean, there's more to it with the eventual appreciation, all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
but
sure.
and tax advantages to a lot of it. But like what you were saying, I think if you like what you guys are doing, you're looking at it strategically and building the business in a way, and you're interested in building a business like that, where you've got the right people in place. That it's your chance to be creative and create something like that. So it's being creative in the houses, but then at the bigger level, because I was against that, like growing a company to get myself out of it. I was like, well, why would you even want to have the company if you don't even want to work in it? But, I was, going through a bunch of stuff, but, I still think that, it can get a little bit tricky to do, but if that's your passion, like, why not? Right. If you are a business builder, that's what you do.
Yeah, and we love flipping. We literally want to do this, even if we don't have to.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah, we love it. Man, I know.
I was going to ask why you guys are doing so much still, because I know that your SEO is doing really, really well from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Getting great results for people, and we can transition now into, what you guys want to share. Do you want? I think it's really cool because in your group, your Facebook group, you talked about, hey, we're doing this YouTube channel, and I went and checked it out. And I was like, oh, this is cool, man. It's gonna be fun to watch you two do these houses. So yeah, so it's That Flipping Couple on YouTube, and great name. I like it. I think it's easy to remember, and I was surprised that it didn't already exist.
I know, right?
So yeah, tell us about it. Like, what's the story here? What's the story of you guys wanting to get out there and create this channel, being that you're, introverted and antisocial?
Well, we don't really have to talk to anyone while we're
filming.
So
I know. So
we're behind the camera.
So with the SEO company, we have to deal with clients. Lovely clients, and I love them, obviously.
Yeah, no, I love all our clients.
We literally become friends, but you always have those that you're dealing with the services company, right? So I'm sure as well, like there are always people that are very unrealistic, and they're demanding. They don't do any work, and they expect the work to be done, and they expect to have a #1 ranking website in 3 days. And no matter how much logic you put into them, they just do not get it. It doesn't work that way, right? So there's a whole different side of this business. Like the service business is you need to be made for it. You need to be able to handle that. And the YouTube channel business, that is literally only fun. Yeah. Obviously, you have to deal with crappy contractors here and there as well. But the whole videoing and transforming this thing from a crappy house to an amazing home, have it on tape, and you see, when you look at it afterwards, you see the struggles and you see how you do it. You are amazed, like, whoa, like we really did it. We actually did it. And after I do so many houses and I think back, like, how would I fix this weird crumbling piece of hole in the in the sheetrock, and I'm looking at it like I wouldn't even know how to start fixing that. And then you have just done 5 houses like that, and magically it's fixed. Like even I don't know the exact steps how we would do this, but when you are knee deep into this mess, somehow it just gets done. And looking at that from that perspective is really entertaining. It's really interesting.
Yeah, and it's something that we would like to share with other people.
Yeah, it's cool when you say it like that. It makes a lot of sense because, you know, after doing enough houses, it becomes just this thing that's being done over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And you guys add a touch to it. That's awesome. I'm sure that helps, you know, feed that whole creativity part of it instead of just taking something that worked and repeating it over and over again. But actually documenting it and being able to celebrate, you know, that transformation every time. That seems really cool. That's something I wish we had done more in the past, was like after finishing the celebration of the transformation, you know, not just, okay, well, that's great, cool, deposit that check, next one, you know?
Yeah, no, it's I would definitely recommend it. Like you don't have to go all out like we do. We go with drone footage and 2 cameras, and people are following us in Home Depot with our mics, lavalier mics on. Like
I'm still not used to it.
Yeah, but just documenting this thing, even if it's just for a self vlog or self diary or something, it's definitely worth it. It's fun.
Cool. So what is the plan? Like what should people expect from the channel? What are you guys going to do? Like, is it going to be like 1 episode per house? Or are you breaking up each house into several episodes? Like what is going to happen?
Yeah, so I'm thinking, and we are still fluid on this, depending on the flip itself. I think we should do at least 2 episodes per house, depending on the scope of work. And so the way we structured this whole video series is we want to make it educational, right? But still entertaining. But every time I look into YouTube and check out the educational versions of it, it's really boring. Like how to flip a house. Oh, we did this, and this is what you do, and it's really boring. It's really boring. So this is partly difficult. So we try very hard to make this thing just entertaining, but by watching it, you will learn a lot. That is what we're going for, and it's really difficult to do. So, for example, we are doing things differently from what I've seen so far on YouTube, right? So on YouTube, nobody talks about a Gantt chart. Nobody talks about how you design your house digitally for the blueprint, how HGTV does it, right? So on all these YouTube channels, you don't see this stuff happening. But doing so is not just for visuals. Having our house designed in a 3D model, every time we're in Home Depot, for example, and we see a tile and we're not planning on buying anything, but sometimes we see something that is, oh, we must have this thing in our house. And the guy tells us, okay, how much square feet do you need? Dang it, how much is the house? How much is the bathroom? We whip up our phone. We have the 3D model. We click on the button that says all the areas of the walls, all the areas of the floors, and we have all these numbers right there. And we show the picture to whoever we need to show them. Said, okay, yeah, this is better used for this, and buy this product for this. So it's really good to have that. So we have learned this the hard way several times. That's why we do this right now. So these kind of things you don't see people on YouTube explaining. So we have a Gantt chart that explains exactly what the timelines is, what the dependencies are on each task and whatnot. So we're going to show how we use these tools, how to flip houses. But we're not going to say something like, oh, this is how you have to use a Gantt chart. And Gantt is, no, we're just going to show us using it. So that people, why are you laughing?
And that is hard to do, right? Like, I mean, to make it interesting and to do it in a way.
Exactly. So that's how we're going to structure the channel so that we can focus more on entertaining and make it fun to watch and whatnot. But anybody that is an investor will definitely learn from it. And people that are not investors, they will still laugh at our politically incorrect jokes and our racist slangs and all that stuff.
Yeah, he's not very appropriate.
I didn't see that yet in any of the videos, so I'm looking forward to
wait until you see them.
Yeah.
I want to watch the one again with you jumping around in the front yard. That one's cool. I'm wondering if they sped up the video or you were really jumping that fast.
No, dude, that was a real time, dude.
So anybody watching, if you're not watching this on YouTube, head over to YouTube. And if you're already on YouTube, obviously just hop up in the search bar and look for That Flipping Couple. And that's right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see Jerryll and Jess and the cool stuff that they've got going on. And they said they've got a lot of the videos recorded, being edited, and will be releasing many more. So it's just a start right now. So go ahead and subscribe to that channel. And then if you want, mention your SEO for real estate investors.
Yeah. So in fact, we're filming 2 episodes, right? 2 houses right now, but we are about to start a 3rd one. And that house we actually got for $10. It's an historic home. And it's on the
Connecticut.
In Connecticut, yeah. In Connecticut, yeah, really. And it's on the most gorgeous street you have ever seen, seriously. So that one is going to be a serious, interesting episode. How we're going to rehab a historic home
and restore it.
Yeah, while making it still modern still.
Yeah.
So we got this lead obviously from SEO, and we are thinking about also explaining how we do that, the SEO portion of it. But yeah, so our SEO company is SEO for Real Estate Investors, obviously. We are going to be working very closely with some guy from Lead Propeller, grayish guy.
Oh yeah. That guy's awesome. He's
So we're very interested in putting partnering up with the Lead Propeller website so that they can become the next thing ranking #1. So keep your eyes out for that one as well. So yeah, we're going to work very closely together with them, and let's see what happens. See how successful we're going to be with that.
cool. Yeah, and looking at finding great people to do SEO is such a difficult task, because everybody will say that they know what they're doing, that what they're doing is safe, and you won't get penalized by Google and all this kind of stuff. But I like your approach to SEO, and I didn't even believe it when I first heard it. I was like, no, you're just hiding something from me. Like, what is it that you're not telling me that's going on? Because I don't believe that it can be as simple as that. And the focus was basically having it built for the motivated seller coming to it, not for Google.
Exactly.
And that seems too easy, that people want to complicate it more than that.
Yeah.
So the fact that you found a way to make that something that's actionable, that can be created, not just an idea, and have success with it is incredibly awesome. And I love how that you tell people that what they're doing is wrong. You just flat out not, you might be doing it wrong. You're like, no, it's wrong.
Yep.
Very opinionated about it. And I like that, because not enough of us are brave enough to do that. So I commend you on it.
Straightforward and blunt.
Yeah. I get so many comments on Bigger Pockets about that. So yeah.
Right. But people say it might turn some people off, and other people appreciate it. But I think if anything, it's memorable, right? And you only want to work with people that are gonna trust that what y'all are doing is right. And
yeah, it's much a filter as well. If you're so stubborn and so into such in your own ways that you will not accept what you're doing is wrong, well, I can show my results. And obviously my results, it's quite above average results that we're getting. If you get results and you can still not admit to yourself what you're doing must be wrong, then I don't want to work with you anyway. So I don't lose anything to that.
Cool. Well, super glad to have you guys on the show and find out more about your backgrounds and getting into the business and meeting each other and creating this real estate and services and
thanks for having us.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Like
all that kind of stuff.
In the gazebo led to this. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you guys having
connection.
Yeah, cool. That's my word for the year, is connection. So this is the first episode I've done, and I feel like it's a good one because it's connecting with you guys even more. So it's really cool.
Absolutely.
Cool, man.
And I didn't say y'all over and over. I just said you guys. I'm all conscious of that now. We got a team spread out now. Now we're mostly remote now, whereas used to be everybody was in the office. Now we've hired people across the country. So now we get a lot of comments about being in Texas.
Yeah.
A lot of, the whole horse thing and all that kind of stuff, but we don't have horses. I don't have a horse.
You have boots?
No, I don't even have boots.
What? That is.
I wasn't born in Texas. I came here when I was 2 years old, so maybe
Ah.
I don't have boots.
Unlucky.
But anyway,
Still Texas bred.
yeah. Well, we'll keep in touch. I'm sure, like you said, we're going to be doing some things together, so it's cool. And I can't wait to find out, how that rehab that you got for $10. And I think we got a little bit of time here. How the heck did you buy that for $10?
So to be very honest, this is all her. So I get the lead from the SEO, but then obviously they walked the property and they made the offer. So it's a combination of obviously getting a motivated seller and then getting her to agree with the price. So you have to ask her, to be honest.
Honestly, there was just a lot of work that needed to go into the house, and some of the structure needed to be fixed. The back end of the house was kind of falling off, and it was a liability. And it was a hoarder's house. So you walk in and you have to step on everything just to get across. And it was a lot of work that needed to get into it. So we basically said, like, if you wanted to just hand it over and we can do something amazing with your childhood home, we'll be more than happy to take it on. But at this time, it's just not really something that we can take on and pay to do so. And I mean, I didn't say it just like that, but yeah, that's basically how it went down. And he accepted it. He was like, I want out and my mom needs to be out.
Yeah.
He didn't want to deal with it. And
Yeah,
he just handed it over.
It was a son. The mother lived there, and it was not a healthy environment for her. So the son really wanted her out, and it was a liability, pretty much. So can you make a profit? Yeah, absolutely. The house, the ARV is around 250.
And it would be about 200, but the way that we flip, we're more looking at 220, 250.
Yeah. So there's room for profit, but do we really want to take on that risk?
Yeah.
And we were getting so many deals, so many leads in our inbox. We didn't need this one. So we politely told her that this is not really one profit.
Those are the best ones. Like when you know that you can turn around and walk away and feel okay with not buying it.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, this will work for us if we can get it for, if you just want to give it to us.
And that's what he's been able to create for us. Like these leads just come in and we get to cherry pick which flips that we actually want to do and what we want to take on. So
and that is part of the secret as well, right? So when you go to a walkthrough and you are desperate, no, okay, we'll do this, versus, yeah, we'll see. And we have, like, your confidence level is completely different. Your energy that you.
Well, and then people pick up on that, and it isn't a big thing. What I experience is that people want to feel confident that you're going to be able to close, right? If you're acting like you're real iffy about everything, or because you can smell that little bit of that desperation.
Yeah. And with the SEO thing also is that we are doing you a favor for buying your house. With any other marketing is the seller does you a favor by selling them the house to you. The whole thing is completely different with SEO. So the whole mentality is just switched around. So we come in, they understand that they looked for us, they messaged us, they asked us to come. So we are here doing them a favor. If you want us to buy your house, this will be the price. And if not, good luck. Find somebody else.
So it was Jess. Jess did it. Jess pulled it off. Good job. It was a team effort. All right. All right. Well, y'all have a great one. And everybody listening in, be sure to check out their YouTube channel, That Flipping Couple.
We look forward to you guys joining us on our little journey.
Yeah.
Thanks, Danny.
All right. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.